Our 2 cents.
With Oscar.
Anyways, welcome back to our 2 cents. With Oscar, your host, we are back. Now, regardless of how this week goes, it's been a rough couple of weeks for me. But here we are once again. And we are at 179 episodes. I gotta say, that's kind of a milestone if you ask me. I had prior to making any of this episodes, I had zero of work to show for my life. Let me fix that. I don't want you to see behind the scenes because, yeah, you're not supposed to be looking at behind the scenes. Anyways, happy Monday the 23rd. Today it is National Day Ride the Twin. What the hell? Well, it depends who's twins, right? It depends which side you like, so it's up to you. Anyways, I messed up, and it is not Ride the Twin Day. It is National Ride the Wind. Beautiful. Go with the flow. Is that what that means? And also, National Sponge Cake Day. Sponge Cake Day? What does that even mean? How do you eat a sponge cake? I have no clue. Let's find out. Well, why don't we find out? See, I do these dumb things where I ask myself, how do you do this? What do you do that? And I don't even realize that I got the whole internet right here in front of me trying to get answers. But anyways, now, August 23rd, enjoy National Sponge Cake Day with the quintessential QII, whatever the hell. That's a long word. I can't even pronounce it. Something classic of the cake world. Quintessential. There you go. Quintessential classic of the cake world. This airy queen of teas is the guest of honor, but we get the pleasure of tasting. What is it made out of? Anyways, the sponge cake is thought to have originated in the Caribbean. However, the earliest English printed recipe of the sponge cake comes from an English poet and author. Yeah, right. Like the English weren't taking over all the fucking Caribbeans, right? And the fucking Americas, right? So why would it come from the Caribbean, right? There's no way, shape, or form that if this Englishman, poet, whatever the fuck, Gervais Markham, whoever the fuck that is, whoever that guy is, there's no way in hell that he stole it from the Caribbean. There's no way. It's impossible. That didn't happen back in the days, right? Christopher Columbus didn't take the whole shit. He didn't get credit for the whole shit, right? That didn't happen. Anyways, like I said, it is the 23rd, and it is Happy National Sponge Cake Day. That's what it is. It's a cake that is thought to be originated from the Caribbeans. The sponge cake is believed to be one of the first non-yeasted cake. So there you go. Now, let's ask ourselves, do we really think this English Markham guy, Gervais, whatever the hell his name was, do we really think this guy really came up with this thing? Do we? But really? I doubt it. This fucking guy stole it from them. That's what I gotta say. If I have any opinion on the sponge cake, it's this muffo took it from the Caribbean, and it's taking credit for it now. Anyways, So enjoy your sponge cake today because it is National Sponge Cake Day. Now, I've only had it once, but the description of it's always been more delicious than what it actually tasted when I tried it. So first of all, let me back up a second so you know what the fuck I'm talking about. Happy National Cuban Sandwich Day. Now, Cuban sandwiches, they're supposed to be the best sandwiches you've ever had. That wasn't my experience. My experience, it was like a basic bitch sandwich. It was basic. It was okay. It was not delicious. But I will say, I talked to a Cuban friend of mine, and he is the one that told me that sandwich was not really original, a Cuban sandwich. So, bad experience with the Cuban sandwich I had. Anyways, it wasn't a Cuban sandwich apparently, but I like to say I've had a Cuban sandwich. Anyways, it is another day, another 2 cents that we're going to give. But let me ask this. Well, first of all, let me say this. See, I hear things and then I see things and I write them down and then I forget what I'm going to talk about and then, fuck it. But anyways, this time I wrote a few things down what I wanted to point out in this episode that we're here today on. And I keep moving my butt because I keep getting nervous. I get nervous, but I catch myself. And that's why I keep moving. I keep touching the microphone all the freaking time. It's a work in progress. Anyway, so what I'm trying to say is, so I waste a lot of time thinking. Let me just read the quote so it can make more sense. So bees waste no time explaining to flies why honey is better than shit. But you know why we think that? I agree with that quote though. Although I agree with it, I do know why we think the bees don't argue with flies about shit. Literally, right? They don't argue with flies about shit because, think about it. Do you understand bee? No. Do I understand bee? Maybe. Maybe not. I don't understand bee. Anyways, so none of us speak the language of the bees. None of us speak the language of the flies. And none of us speak, what's the word I'm looking for? I know there is a word for what I'm trying to think, but the word slipped my mind. I even lost my train of thought. Anyways, but we do not speak, a neutral language that we all understand, flies, insects. I guess we do speak a neutral language with dogs, right? Because they understand gestures, motion, sounds. I guess they learn that type of things. I'm not a dog professional knowing all, but I understand that dogs do understand that. But we don't speak fly, we don't speak bees, so we don't know if they are trying to convince each other that shit or honey is better than the other. Who the fuck knows, right? See, in my head, when I wrote this quote down, I was like, this sounds great. I'm going to share this. But, nah, reading it out loud, it's not as good as it sounded in my head. Like most things. Most things are not good as they sound in my head. Anyways. So, therefore, there's no way that we're going to know if a bee ever tried to convince anybody else the honey is better than shit. I doubt it, though. The Fermi paradox. I heard that and it made a lot of sense when I was saying, ooh, that's what I want to talk about. But now I just don't even remember what the hell it is. So the Fermi paradox, named after the Italian-American physicist Enrico Fermi. Is that how you read it? Enrico. I'm reading it Hispanic like, but that's supposed to be Italian, I guess. Is the apparent contradiction between the lack of evidence of extraterrestrial life and various high estimates of their probability. That's what the Fermi paradox is. The Fermi paradox is the apparent contradiction between the lack of evidence of extraterrestrial life and various high estimates for their probability. So, the biggest question is, are we alone in this universe? Now, since the 50s, there was a rise on UFO sightings. But who's to see? Nobody, most of us were not alive then to know. But see, it goes back to what the media does. They started pushing that, and it became a thing, and now it is. But anyways, that's not what I'm asking. What I'm asking is, if the universe is as big as they say it is, as the theory is, there has to be something out there. Now, if there is something out there, where is everybody? Now, I have two thoughts on this one, which I'm not sure which one's stronger than the other. Maybe one of them will become a lot stronger right now that I'm going to say it. But anyways, my true sentiment on this subject is, so there's one, if we're not alone, why isn't anybody trying to contact us? Or are we too far apart for them to contact us? But see, everything has a different age out there. It takes a long time for the light to travel, right? Just from the sun. The sun's it's in our solar system still, right? Our sun, it takes 8 minutes for the light to travel from there to here. So that means if anything were to happen to the sun, from this very instant, something happened to the sun. 8 minutes later, we will see what exactly happened. Now, is 8 minutes enough to make amends with anybody you wronged? I don't know. See, this is what I think about when I think of shit like this. So, where is everybody? See, I think there's two ways to look at this. One is, if anybody's out there, are they concerned? Concerned, is that even a word? Are they concerned with other lives, other possible life forms? Or are they just living? That's the question I have. And it gets me to, maybe they are just living and we're over here too worried about what could be out there and we don't pay attention to what's going on in here. Which is a lot nowadays if you really think about it. The theory is that there is 100 billion galaxies. So if there's 100 billion galaxies, in every single one of those galaxies has a black hole. Now, the new theory is that inside of, they believe, now whether this is true or not, this is way above my pay grade. I don't even have a pay grade. And it's way above that. They believe now that there is other galaxies inside a black hole. But what does that mean? Who knows? And if there is other civilizations out there, like I said earlier, maybe they just focused on themselves and finding the meaning of their lives and just living their meaning, then maybe that's why nobody has came and found us. But when we say, where's everybody? What about all the sightings? Now, out of all those sightings, one of them has to be true. One of them has to be. And it's, when we say, where is everybody? Our solar system is relatively young compared to any other stars. I don't know if you've ever noticed. I've seen a video online where I come across perceptions of the sun. I don't even know if that's the right word. But they show you the first they show you Earth, next planet, and then it jumps to our sun. And you go from our sun, which is small, let's say like this. Okay, it's small, like maybe a half of an inch. That's what I'm doing with my fingers right now for all of you listening. And then they go and compare like the largest star, and it's like a small dot compared our sun to that star, our star to that star. It's humongous. Now, imagine this. Now we know, at least they say we know, that we're spinning and hurling through infinity, going, I don't know where the fuck we're going. But imagine if we came across one of those stars and we slam right into that star. I wonder. Oh, whoa. I wonder how long it would take for everything to evaporate. Would it be instantaneous or would it take time? That's the question we should be asking. Is it going to take time or would it be instantaneous? But does that even matter? Would we even see it coming since light doesn't travel that fast? Would it even take it? I don't know. Now, where our solar system is positioned, apparently it would be like we're on almost on an edge of the Milky Way. Now, if you want to put it into perspective, it would be like a rural countryside equivalent. So, like, us, planet Earth, is in the countryside of the whatever fucking galaxy we're on. But anyways, so just a little food for thought for most of us. It's something for us to think about because we're thinking about too much of this shit. Let's look up and let's realize that we're just a speck of nothing. I don't know if you've anybody ever seen a Horton? It's Dr. Seuss Horton's here's a who. I think that's how you say it. But anyways, apparently there's a whole world in a tiny leaf and the elephant's trying to save it, Maybe that's what's going to happen to us. Maybe, you know what? Predictive programming. That's what they're programming your brain for. Yeah, they're letting you know because only the stupid ones that watch a movie understand, right? Anyways, it seems like so the other thing that I've been hearing about lately is that we're living currently living in an apocalypse. So I have a question to those people, especially the religious people, which I fucking can't stand because they love to shove Jesus down your throat, even though we know now that the picture of Jesus was whatever guy did it. It was his lover, apparently. It was yeah. Anyways, so we've been praying to somebody's lover, but they say we lived in an apocalypse, right? We're living in an apocalypse. So if this is the apocalypse and this is the worst that it can fucking be, what do we call the fucking World War II? What do we call World War I? What do we call that fucking guy from the Middle East that was fucking killing King? I can't remember the name. That's two things I fucking forgot what I was going to say today. See, I need my alpha brain. That does really help to keep my train of thought going. But I forgot the name. It's on the tip of my tongue. I know it's a weird name too. That's why I can't spew it out. Anyways, but what do you call those times? See, apparently today we live way better than anybody ever lived in our past life. Not in our past life, but like in our history. So when people come and say, "Oh, this is the end of times," they've been fucking saying the end of time since like fucking Jesus left fucking New Jersey, and I don't even know if he was ever in New Jersey. But anyways, the earliest one I remember that was the end of the world, it was Y2K. Computers are gonna go to zero and the world's gonna end because computers are gonna fucking show a 00 instead of a fucking 2000. Ugh, so annoying. But anyways, so I don't think we are living there. They are definitely complicated times, but I just don't think we are living in an apocalypse. It's just not as bad as it was. It's a lot better than what it was, and we all need to realize that. Now, there's those people that worry about that we're living in an apocalypse. This is the other thing that I've been seeing on TikTok, especially TikTok, that's getting more and more traction, and I'm noticing it more often, and I don't even know if it's been going on, but I've been noticing it more and more now. People who choose to live on a van, bus, or car. Listen, I get it. Times are hard. Times are fucking hard. See that? I was trying to get that fucking fly out of there. Anyways, times are hard. I get it. Look, I love it when people try to not diminish, is that the right word? I don't even know the right wording for this, what I'm trying to say. But I love it when people are trying to say, oh, I can't even afford a house. I can't even do this. I can't even get that. That's, to me, those are just excuses. And you know what? People that say that use those excuses, I'm with you. But the difference between those people and I is just that I'm not being a bitch about it. Because that's all you're doing when you're complaining about that you can't afford a house. Maybe right now you can't afford a house, but there's steps that you can take to afford a house. And the very first fucking step is get a fucking job. Maybe that's too much. But anyways, yes. You know what? I keep seeing this a lot, and I'm going to talk about it because I really don't give a shit. And it's really gotten to me lately. People keep saying there's no work. How many times I drive out there? That's part of my regular job, to drive almost everywhere. So I drive everywhere. I understand nobody wants to work warehouse. Nobody wants to work warehouse. But you have to do what you have to do to get where you need to get. It's a job. It's not a career. Now, a job will put food in your fucking table and food in your stomach. And a ceiling over your head. But when people are sitting there saying there's no work, I can't get work, but I'm seeing out there that there's fucking now hiring signs everywhere. Where's the fucking line, man? I don't even see it. I was talking to my dad. Now, me and this guy don't really get along, but I was talking to him this time, and it was a genuine conversation. And, I asked him, I don't understand why people are saying that there's no jobs out there. I like what I just said right now. I drive out there. I see a lot of now hiring signs, from restaurants to warehouse to offices, and you name it. I see them. Even mechanics are looking for people to hire. The fact that people are using an excuse to not to go back to work is just it drives me nuts. It makes me insane. I don't understand it. Now, I asked the question to my dad, why do you think that is? And his opinion is people have gotten accustomed to getting that high paycheck with doing nothing. So now people are turning around to the employer and saying, hey, we deserve a little more of this fucking bread over here because you're eating good and we're eating crumbs. Can we have a half of a bread or something over here? That's what people are saying. And that's why that's where I turn around. I'm like, all right, I get it. I get it. I once worked warehouse, but not no more. I found me a better job. Cause see, I myself did not go to college to pursue a career. Obviously, right? I'm right here. Obviously, I'm not doing anything courageous. Is that how do you say career in plural? I don't know. Anyway, but I get it. But understand when I'm saying this, there is steps that you can take to help your situation. Now, again, it's a job. It doesn't mean you have to stay there. Now, especially in Hispanic culture, for most of us, the job that you get, and if it's a good paying job, that's where you want to stay the rest of your life. But that's not me. That's why I've always jumped around from job to job to job until I found something I like. And what I'm doing now, I enjoy it. It's not bad. It doesn't pay too bad. But I followed my steps. You know, I started from the bottom and now I'm here. I wish I would have turned it on, right? It would have been good. Anyways, but back to my point. People who choose to live in van, bus, or car. What the hell is wrong with you people? What makes you think that you're going to have a better life? I know what makes you think you're going to have a better life. You think you're going to have a better life because you're going from place to place and looking at your surroundings, looking at everything. Yeah, that's great. That's great. But explain to me what the fuck you're going to do when you're 60 years old. Are you going to have a stable bus? Are you going to have a stable van? Are you going to have a stable car? Is your back still going to be good to sleep in the back seat of your car? No. People, don't live in your cars. I understand it's hard. But maybe I just don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. You know what? It's not maybe. I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. I'm like the stupidest person you've ever met in your life, and I don't even know shit. You know, that's why I'm telling you that. My dad can't have conversations with me because I love, when I'm having conversations, I love playing devil's advocate. Love it. I'm going to go to that. But the lesson was to know when to be fucking playing devil's advocate. And just know it. And you'll live a better, happier life. Anyways, speaking of owning a home, so I'm in the process of that right now. And, you know, it's so frustrating. The shits that they make you do when you're trying to get a loan for a house and it's your first time. Now, you know, I was going to complain about it. And now that I'm saying it out loud, I'm like, nah, but it was for your own good because you at least got something out of it. But I don't remember what I got out of it because I'm on the phone with when I did my test and everything. You know, I read the course, I did my test and everything. So I called the lady because I had to first of all call them because they couldn't just fucking email me my fucking certificate of completion, right? No, they had to call me and ask me, well, why are you purchasing a house? Bitch, I don't know, maybe to fucking live in it? You know what I should have told her? Oh, you know, I just thought it was a good idea to buy a house and burn it down. I mean, is that the fucking kind of answer she was waiting to get from me or what? Because I don't fucking know. Anyways, but yes, people, that lifestyle of living in a van in a car, it sounds great. Maybe up until you're, I'm even gonna go for, I'm gonna stretch it, and it's gonna be a really long stretch. But depending who you are and how you are, I'm gonna say 35. That's the latest you could do that. And I'm right there on that window still. But I will not choose to live in a fucking car. No fucking way. And now I understand mental health as well. That's there too. But this is what I like to say. I'm fortunate enough to be in the situation that I'm in where it's not an option for me. And if it is for you, well, that sucks. Sucks, doesn't it? Yes, it does. But back to the homeowners class. That's what I was talking about. Right? And then I jumped back into the fucking complaining about people living in cars and vans. And, you know, and then this is what people who live in Vancouver don't understand. I don't know if most of you know, but there is people who break into houses. You do know that, right? Are we speaking the same language here? Should I say it in Spanish? Should I say it in French? I don't know. I'm not even gonna try French because I don't even remember. So now in a house, if somebody breaks into your house, you at least have a chance of hiding in a closet, under the bed. You know, the house is it's pretty big enough for more than two people, right? Of course, not a fucking car where you made the back seat a fucking bed. So now what happens if somebody breaks in your car? Now, you might be inclined to say, well, what happens if they break in your house? Well, I repeat myself. In a house, at least you have a place to hide. And they broke into your house. You know, the police come, they leave. I mean, sure, you're gonna be scared to close your eyes again, but you're still gonna feel safe within the compounds of your house. You're still gonna feel safe. Now, if somebody breaks in your car, and you know the police come, nothing happened to you, but they broke into your car. Now, are you gonna feel safe with a broken window? Of course not. You're not. So those are things that people don't think about. Maybe I'm just paranoid about everything, because I do get paranoid about everything. I've talked about that shit before too. But anyways, the stupid homeowners class is fucking dumb. So I took a class just for them to ask me, why the fuck am I buying a house? See, that kind of stupid question is dumb. It's just, why? In what mind would that fucking, I guess, see, there you go. That's why I like talking about it, because I hear myself and I think of an answer. So I'm asking, why would they ask me that stupid question? Because there's people out there buying houses to rent them. That's exactly why. Now, this bitch thought I was going to tell her, oh, I'm going to rent the house. I don't know. Anyways, I've had enough of that lady. But anyways, I'm done with that class. It's over. It's taken, and that's it. So, you know, yeah. Going back to the cost of living, I guess. Anyways, so I was scrolling through my TikTok as I normally do, where I waste a lot of time and I procrastinate a lot rather than do this, because I like doing this, but I like also scrolling to TikTok. I came across a video where a young lady and another young lady, they live in a house, mind you. And these people are not worried about a job. Now, one of these young ladies, I shouldn't even be calling her a lady because she does not identify herself. Oh, I shouldn't even be calling her a she, because it does not identify itself with being a human. Now, this girl literally identifies herself as a dog and lives like a dog. I only have one question. Just one question. How do you make a living? If you act like you're a dog the whole time, even when you go out with your partner, how the fuck do you make a living? Because look. I said it. I enjoy my job. I enjoy it. I don't like it, but I enjoy it. Because if you're making a better living acting like a dog, can I do that? Should I just say I identify myself as a dog and automatically I'll have money? Because these people don't seem to be worried about making a living. This bitch sleeps in the cage with a piece of blanket inside the cage, and they lock the cage when she goes in there. Now, I'm not even judging this. Well, I guess I am. But that's not what I'm asking. The only question I have on the subject is, how do you make a living? I want to know. I want to make that type of living where I'm not even worried about making a living. That's just, Now, these people, they do seem to like. I understand mental health is an issue, but these people that identify themselves as an animal or to each his own, I guess, But I just think it's a mental health, not necessarily that it's a bad thing, but I just think people need somebody to tell them they need a good friend. People need a good friend that'll tell them, hey, the fuck are you doing? You need a good friend like that. So, but yes. So help yourself out and find your friend that tells you, what the fuck are you doing, dude? Somebody that's normal. And is normal bad? No, it's not. Some might say it is. But anyways, so now I came across a question. This is the last one. I'll bore you all with this. But this is what I've asked. Okay, so I've heard this a lot. I've heard it a lot. Not for me or not asked to me, but I've heard in the past, if you could go back, so I'm 31, so I'm going to say 16 years because I'm going to talk about 15 years. So if I could go back 16 years and talk to my 15-year-old self, what would I tell him? Chive on, brother. Yes, exactly. That's what I would tell myself. Chive on. That's all you can tell. Because you know what? Now, I beat myself down a lot because I would like to be in a different situation. But I do understand that to be in a different situation where I want to be, it would take time, which I would have started a long time ago, which I didn't. And the point is, you have to get started and complete it at some point in your life. Now, it is my understanding, it is my understanding that your 20s should be all about fuck ups. That's all it should be about in your 20s. All about the fuck ups that you've done. Anything stupid. That's when you're supposed to get that out of the way. Not when you're 30. When you're 30, you're supposed to be like, all right. Where the fuck have I been fucking up? Now, I'd like to think that I started noticing where I've been fucking up maybe 2 years ago. And it's been a long process to where I've been. But back to what I would tell my 15-year-old self is, first of all, I don't think if I had an opportunity to go back and tell myself something at 15 years, I don't think I would do it. I don't think I would tell myself anything. Because, see, the thing is, I believe that today I am who I am because of the experiences that I've had in my life. And if I wouldn't have had the experience or met the people that I've met, then I wouldn't be in the situation that I'm today. And maybe I wouldn't even be thinking this way. So that's why I don't think I would tell myself anything. But then I stop and I'm like, okay, but what if you could tell yourself, learn what you know now? But how can you learn what you know now without the experience that you went through? So it's complicated. So I don't think it's a good thing to be like, to wish that you could go back and tell yourself that. Because then you wouldn't be who you are today. And you know what? I'm going to say maybe these people who I was speaking of earlier, whom identifies themselves as such, you know what? Maybe those people do need to go back to when they were 15 and tell themselves, hey man, like, you know what? It'll be all right. Don't worry about it. It'll be all right. you'll make it through. Nobody's gonna hurt you. Nobody's gonna do nothing to you. You know, you'll make it through. And maybe those people do need that. Maybe those people do need to be put in a different path. But that's just rude of me. That's just me being rude. Don't mind that. Anyways, I like saying that I always have a great time having this conversations right here. And today was very much not different. It's a wonderful day. It's a wonderful Monday. I'm just glad I got to talk to all of you again. And you know what? Last week was just a lot of I don't even know how to explain it. But last week was last week. But the show must go on. Here we are today, and we'll keep grinding and grinding even more to get this rolling. Now, I'd like to say thank you, everybody, for listening to me. Thank you to all the subscribers that have came my way. Thank you very much. And if you're listening to this and you haven't subscribed, please hit that subscribe button. You know, I'll keep trying to get better content out there and be more consistent about it. Now, the weekly consistency thing, that's a thing. I do that. But as far as I get lazy about it. But anyway, I'm gonna be better. And that's what I like doing, being better all the time. Thank you, everybody, for listening. This is our 2 cents with your boy, Oscar. Doses.